All right, there's nothing like being in the green room with two brilliant, bright, intelligent women who are doing some bad things. When I say bad things, I mean they are like bad to the bone. Y'all are just making it happen. Cozette, let me start with you. I know they call you a lot of things, Dr. Cozette. I would say Dr. Cozette White. Let me get that right. But so I don't have to read this long bio right now. And is it okay if you just give me the backstory on who is Dr. White and what is Dr. White up to these days?
Absolutely. First of all, let me say thanks to everyone for joining us tonight on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. Thanks to the audience. I am just excited. Thank you, Shay, for inviting me and having me as a guest tonight. So who am I? Well, that's what I'm going to be talking about tonight. On tonight's episode, I am going to bring to the audience, what does it take to get our money together? What does it look like to eliminate those negative money stories? What does it look like to clear our mind so that we can get our story straight, so that we can get our money straight? And to my business owners, I'm going to talk to you especially about what do you need to do to get your money straight?
As folks are tuning in right now, one of the questions that are coming up is, instead of your big why, what's your purpose right now in life? Like, what mission is Dr. White on these days?
That is a really great question. So let's talk about it from the business standpoint first. From a business standpoint, my mission is really to help those entrepreneurs out there gain clarity and focus as it relates to their money. So many times, without diving so deep into my story right now, or what is it that I do, but I actually see so many business owners that they're really unclear about their finances. They have no idea where their money is going, why they're spending, how they're spending, and at the end of the year, they're clueless as to truly what that profit margin looks like, what that profit looks like, how much revenue did they really bring in. So that's really my purpose in life from a business standpoint. From a personal standpoint, my mission, my purpose is really to help our youth. Help Generation Y, help Generation X, and I'm talking about those in their late 20s, early 30s, just really clearly understand the importance of credit, understand how it's important to use our money, wills, trust, in the personal finances, and eliminating debt, Shay.
Eliminate debt. I love it. I can't wait. We're in for a treat. And all the way on the other side, all the way down in Mississippi, none other than the one and the only Karen. What's going on, Karen? We can see a little bit of you. Might want to scoot just a little bit over to the other way. There you go. We can see you. Don't be trying to hide out. We see you over there, by the way. Take a moment. The audience is going to, they're Googling you already, Karen. They're looking you up. They're figuring out who you are. Take a moment and tell me, give me your backstory. Give me the narrative of who is Karen Cherry and what are you up to?
So I'm an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur most of my life. I'm also a coach, a speaker. I'm a conference developer. I have planned conferences for over the last, I think, 15 plus years. And so I've been a co-owner of PRN Home Care Services. We've been in business over 23 years. And that's more our home care, which is my passion of helping caregivers to find the services that will help them keep their loved ones in their home, preferably, or in assisted living, even in a nursing home, but making sure that they get quality care. So we provide homemakers and nurse aides and sitters and people like that so they can be the eyes and ears for their family. On the other side, where people probably think I live, is I'm the co-founder of Success Women's Conference, and we are actually in our 6th year. We have some exciting news that'll be coming out real soon about who our keynotes are. But we have averaged over 1,000 people at our conference now for the last few years here in Biloxi, Mississippi, that is.
That's right. Shout out to all the Biloxi folks out there right now that are watching. They're probably hearing you do so much. You're involved in a whole lot of things, Karen. Same question. What is your mission right now? What's your purpose in life?
Well, I always have a few purposes, but one of the things that I'm doing, and one of the reasons why I'm starting the Power Up conference, is I want to help coaches and event planners and speakers to drill down and actually have a more successful event and create other streams of revenue. A lot of people are in business, they speak, they travel, some people on the road 200 days out of the year. But at the end of the day, they're not making money. And they're certainly, when they're planning their events, uh, many don't have more than 50 people in the building.
Mm-hmm.
That's planning an event for a year. So my goal is to help individuals with that and help them to be a little more successful than they have been in the past.
Oh, fantastic. I can't wait. We're going to learn how to power up our speaking. You'll be talking about how to power up your coaching, because that's going to be helping all of us business owners get our financial house in order, grow the wealth, but also protect our wealth. I can't wait. To Sean Harris, who says, what's up? Mic check to all of you out there. Tiffany Denise Bell, Paula, who's on here watching right now. What's up, Marsha? Thank you so much. We got to get going. I wish I could stay here all day and shout out everybody. We got to get going. I see you, Michael. What's up, my man? We got to get going. We got a show in 5, 4. This is my favorite part, ladies. 3, 2, 1. It's showtime. We're gonna change some lives together. I can't wait. Here we go. Promise I made to my mom. I only did this message for one person, and that's my mom. This is for you, Mom. Love you. My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Shay Brown.
Mic check, mic check.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
Yes. Yeah.
And they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win. Yeah.
Thank you. Well, it's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue focused late night show in the country, where we're on a mission. And our mission is to empower. Our mission is to inspire. And our mission at the end of the day is to provide you, the entrepreneur, with all the resources necessary. Yeah, you, the entrepreneur. Yeah, you, Teresa Royal Brown. Yes, you, Daphne Evans. Yes, you, Marsha. Yes, you, Karen. Yes, every single one of you out there who have a mission and you have a vision for how you want to live. It takes resources. It means it takes revenue. We're going to talk to Cozette about that over there. We're going to talk to Cozette about that. It takes resources to execute the vision you have for the people you love. I have Mother Dear, who I love dearly, and I get a chance to be a caregiver, take her to the doctor, run her around. It's so much fun, but it does take resources. It takes revenue. And then some of you have a vision for the people you were called to serve. And so you need to step up your marketing. That takes revenue. You need to hire that coach, which Karen's going to talk about, have that event. That takes money. You need to save for retirement. Maybe we ask Dr. Cozette White about that. We'll find out about that. I hate that word. But retirement, you have to have enough cash flow there to do that. So this is what the program's going to do for you. You're at the right place at the right time. Let me jump right into it. Dr. Cozette White. People talk about money all the time. What's the biggest challenge facing entrepreneurs and money today? I know that's a loaded question, but I just want to get your perspective and your view on the world. What's the biggest challenge facing entrepreneurs and really taking care of their money?
Absolutely. That is a great question, Shay. Our house, it starts in our home. And so if we have not been able to manage our finances personally, then we're definitely going to see that struggle when it comes to finances in our business. So the #1 thing that I see over and over and over is it's poor management. Poor management of our money, poor management of our expenses, and just not a good system for managing and monitoring our cash flow, what's coming in and what's going out. are the biggest things that I see with business owners and managing cash.
You talked about systems, and I know later Karen Cherry's going to talk about making money through events, making money through your coaching practice. But you work with folks every single day, and there's a person by the name of Caden Harris that has to say hello to you. One of the ones that say hello. Caden Harris is out there watching. Hey, Dr. White, watching you right now.
Hey.
When you say systems for handling their money, can you give us an example of what you're referring to?
Absolutely. One of the easiest and quickest things to do for getting our money in order as business owners is to work with QuickBooks. And I'm sure all of us have heard about it, but it's a simple tool. It's a user-friendly tool, and we can make a mistake, we can screw up, and we can still figure out how we can print out a report called a profit and loss statement to get a clear picture as to what's really going on. Once you understand how to interpret the profit and loss statement, how to understand what goes into that profit and loss statement, you may, and I say you may have a greater appreciation for how you spend your money and where you allow it to go out the door. And just like you and I were having a conversation earlier, it's all about categorizing things correctly and making sure that you are sitting with a professional to assist you with how you can learn to interpret what that profit and loss is telling you. It's a reason why we use the profit and loss statement.
Yeah, but because Dr. White, let me say Dr. White, I'm wondering, it might just be me, but in all seriousness, they always say track this and track that, and there's an app for this and an app for that, and take a picture of this. What do you suggest to to the type of folks you work with for tracking? Is there one app that you prefer over another? I mean, I've got a box full of, well, you don't want to know what I have in a shoebox over here. Even in this year, 2020, I've got a shoebox. I'm embarrassed to tell you. So what's the best way of tracking from a receipt perspective? And then we'll come back talk about tracking what you're doing in the business.
That's a really great question. Most of my clients that I work with are professional service providers and dentists. So most of them have a tracking system in place for tracking receipts. And it's just as simple as starting a system with manila envelopes, if that's something that you choose to. I know that there are plenty of apps out there, and I have to say, and forgive me, but I am truly not that person that uses apps. I'm old school, and I will say start a system where you're putting your receipts in some type of folder, categorize them by automobile expenses, office supplies, computer equipment, whatever the category is, you want to make sure that you are putting it into some type of system. It's going to make it easy at the end of the month, at the end of the quarter, at the end of the year. It's going to make it so much easier. But for my folks who love to use apps, there are plenty of apps that you can use that you can just take a quick snapshot and you can upload those documents into the app and it'll store it. It'll categorize it in the areas that you want. And my best advice is to sit with a professional. Ask them, how should you be categorizing your receipts? What order should they go in? Automobile, transportation, commission, office supplies, meals, travel. All of those things are categories that we should be using to track and keep track so that we know where the money is going.
I'm wondering as you're talking over there, this is one of those painful conversations. But some things are fun, by the way, just to let you know, Karen. Some things are fun, right? But now we're talking about we got to do what we got to do in the business to make sure that we're protecting our own finances, that we're doing things the right way so we don't pay more in taxes than we need to. So I'm going to throw a phrase out there, and I'm going to get Karen Cherry's opinion on that from a perspective of what she does with sponsorships or bringing on folks to events and coaching. But Dr. Cozette, from a financial perspective, and I'll say hello to Lance Jones that's out there, and Jacqueline Fulton is watching, and Sandy that's watching as well. Welcome. You're at the right place. But there's a phrase called what gets measured gets managed. What gets measured gets managed. And when you hear that statement, why is measuring something so important? That's what I'm hearing. You're saying track things, But I'm hearing, how do I measure the results? So, how do I measure it so that I can manage what's going on? Does that make sense? So my question to you is, what gets measured gets managed. When you hear those words, why is that important for us as entrepreneurs? And I'll come to you, Kearn, afterwards to see why that's so important as well.
There are a number of reasons why what we measure gets managed. Is that saying what we measure?
Why is it important to measure so that we can manage it?
Okay, here's what I say. If we're not measuring any of our results, if we're not looking at what I call key performance indicators to get us from point A to B, then we probably won't get to that point, whatever that goal is. Manage or measure what we want to manage. And I'm going to say this, a simple example. If your goal is 200,000 for this year, if you're not measuring and if you're not managing that, then you're not going to reach that goal. You have no indication on where you're at. You have no key performance indicators that are going to help you reach that goal. Not at all. And when I sit with my clients, I help them implement key performance indicators that they can look at on a daily basis, a weekly basis, and a monthly basis. Each month, as a business owner, you should be sitting down, measuring what you want the outcome to be. Manage that outcome every week, so that you're hitting those goals. So I say do it with key performance indicators.
I love it.
And for those of you who may not know, it may be measuring your sales, measuring your calls. Kearn's going to be talking about coaching. She's going to be talking about getting speaking gigs. How can you be a speaker, a profitable speaker, but you're not measuring how many speaking gigs you have, how many calls you are making to get these speaking gigs, how many calls does it take to get one speaking gig, one paid speaking gig? So we really have to measure and manage what we expect. And I say inspect what you expect.
I love it. I love it. And Kearn, you're sitting over there and you'll be talking about how to power up your coaching, how to power up your speaking. I know you're doing a whole event. Talk about the importance of kind of measuring and understanding what's going on when folks are putting on events. I know I have conversations sometimes and I say, well, how many people have signed up? Well, I don't know. How many people are interested? Well, I don't know. But what's your perspective? You've been helping folks for over 15 years now. And so why is it important? And I know this is going to sound overly simplistic. No one's going to jump up and shout right now and run up and down. I get that. But if you get the fundamentals here, it'll make a difference in your business. Why is it important to measure so that you can manage?
So to me, when you're talking conferences and events, that's more about planning. So you have to actually, first of all, you have to have a plan. So a lot of people really don't have a thorough plan. So you want to make sure that if you've been doing the event, that you're looking back at your numbers from last year. You also want to start with a plan. So how much money do you want to raise? How much money do you think you can raise? And you also need to be tracking that to make sure that you're on point to make enough money to pay for your event. I always tell people, you may start off with this wonderful plan and you got all these things that you want to do inside of your conference. But while you're going along the way, if you're not meeting those numbers, meaning you're not measuring where you're at, then you're going to lose and you're going to wind up being in the red. So you want to keep track of that by looking at what you're doing, what you're planning to do. Make sure you're budgeting your expense versus your income, and then go back, because you may have to go back and adjust your plans. You need to be measuring that the whole way through. You can do that. I always say when you're doing a conference, as the person that's leading it, you need to be on top of that. You may have a team that's helping you with that, but you need to be on top of where you're at as far as bringing in the money and developing different ways to bring in money. So that's a whole other conversation, but you definitely need to have a strategy when doing that.
Thank you so much for sharing. And Dr. White, I know you've coined that phrase, financial physician. We're all wondering what in the LL Cool J even means and how that benefits us as entrepreneurs. It sounds painful. It sounds like me talking to my accountant, by the way, but that might be wrong. So frame the conversation for us. Tell us what's the backstory behind that.
Great question. So I want you guys to think about this. When you go to the doctor, you walk in, you pay your fee, you tell the doctor exactly what's wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
You tell them your knees are hurting, you tell them your back is hurting. The doctor needs to assess the problem before he can provide you with a recommendation or a solution. It's the same thing for the financial physician. When I sit with my clients, I have to sit down, assess what's going on in the organization, assess where the problems are, assess where the weaknesses are, where the strengths are, and how I can be an aspirin to their headache. So that's where financial physician came from, how it was coined, and assessing the problem. My responsibility, my main thing is to go in and to provide you with a solution to the problems that you are constantly telling me that you are having. Why are you having lack of clients come back at their 6-month checkup to the dentist? Why? What's going on? Do you not have a system in place that will allow you to call those clients, weeks before their 6-month checkup? What's going on? What's the retention rate? Why can't we retain clients? So those are the things that I do. That's how the term came, how I was coined, financial physician.
I'm loving it, financial physician. I love it. And we come back, we're going to hear from the one and only Kearn in just a few moments. And she's going to talk about how to power up your coaching, how to power up your speaking, but more important, how to power up your business, which is so important. Dr. White, as you're out there and you're have an opportunity to speak to the entrepreneurs. And we're listening right now. And again, it's an uncomfortable conversation for some of us. Some of us, they're just like, hey, I got this. I hired someone, they're doing it, they're getting it right. And others are like, oh my gosh, this is like the secret I don't want anybody to know, right? That I've got to get this thing right. And we have to have a conversation. And some folks are going to contact you and want to have a conversation. And some folks need to have a conversation with their accountant or with their bookkeeper. Here's my question to you. What are 2 or 3 characteristics that we should look for as entrepreneurs when we're talking to a bookkeeper to actually consider them working with that bookkeeper or with that accountant? And it could be questions we're going to ask you as well, by the way.
Those are really good questions. And I tell anyone, ask for referrals. Referrals are the best source of information. These days, yes, we can look on social media, but I say that's just, don't judge a book by its cover. Don't judge a book by its cover, because everything that looks real ain't real. Okay. But ask for those referrals. Ask for 4 or 5. When you're looking for a bookkeeper, ask them about whether or not they're going to be around year round. Check with the Better Business Bureau. Do your research, because after all, you're putting your financial information into a total stranger's hands to oversee your organization. Ask them about their credentials. Ask them about whether or not they are registered. We have a lot of people who start businesses and they don't have the correct credentials to be overseeing and managing your financial affairs. So ask for those things. Check different websites. I know here in California, we are required to be registered with certain organizations, and it's public information and you can go check it. But again, I'm going to say this, as I said before, you got to make sure you inspect what you expect. And if you want to work with a reputable individual, then you need to do your homework before you just slide your financial paperwork over to that individual and expect for them to be a reliable resource for you.
This is really exciting. This is what we all need to do. I'm going to encourage everyone right now. We come back later. We're going to ask Dr. Cozette and Dr. White. I'll ask her now. What's the best way for folks to reach out to you, to contact you, to stay in the conversation with you? As we have folks like Daryl Miller that's out there watching right now. Tawana's watching. Lance Jones is saying, I need help. My company, he's sending to company that says, hey, I'm in a jam. I need help. Lisa Deb Washington. So many folks are out there. Lena Ware. So many folks are watching right now and saying hello. How can they contact you?
The easiest way to stay in contact with me would be to email me, and you can send that to info@myfinancialhome.com. Again, that's info@myfinancialhome.com. And I guarantee you, if you shoot me a quick email, either myself or someone on the team will get back with you immediately. We'll send you a link to actually schedule an appointment.
Okay. And I'm just curious, last question in about a minute or two. We got to run. I know they tell me, we got to go to commercial, but My Financial Home. Tell us the mission. What's the purpose? I know you work with business owners. I know you work with folks high wealth, but you said My Financial Home, and why is it important for everybody to take care of their home, and why that name?
My Financial Home, let's take a look at it like this. When we're building, we have to make sure that our foundation is rock solid. When we're building, we have to make sure that we start from the bottom and lay one brick at a time. And as I said earlier, money conversations starts in the home. It doesn't necessarily start in the school, because we know for a fact, I can speak that I didn't have any financial education in elementary. Yeah, I learned about the pennies, the dimes, the nickels, and all of that, but I didn't learn about the importance of money, what it truly meant, how it can be a true resource for me, how it can help me progress a little further in life, how it can allow me to, how I can use credit to gain additional things. But My Financial Home was just built, build one brick at a time, one layer at a time, and it has to be a solid, sturdy foundation. Earthquake comes, it's gone. So that's how that name actually came up, My Financial Home. Start at your place.
Nah, I love it. When we come back, we're gonna take a less than 2-minute commercial. You listen to the one and only Dr. Cozette White, and we come back, we'll bring on the one and only, none other than the Kearn Cherry, and we'll learn how to power up your speaking, power up your business, how to power up your events, and more importantly, how to take it to another level. I can't wait. She's down there in Mississippi, Biloxi, she keeps saying. Cozette, where are you at, Dr. White? I keep switching back and forth. I gotta be so Dr. White. Dr. White has earned those. Dr. White, I know it's so long. I've known it so long. It's so bad. Dr. White. Where are you dialing in from right now?
I am here in sunny Southern California, where I'm gonna say it was 82 degrees today.
Come on. So. Do you have to go there? I went running before the show. It's like 33 degrees outside, by the way. 82 degrees. I'm thinking, what's up with that?
Yes, in February.
No,
Karen, it's not 82 degrees where you are, is it?
Oh, absolutely not. It's 47 degrees today.
Well,
but liable to be 80-something degrees in a couple of days. So we're very unpredictable here.
Well, the good news is it's hot on the inside. It's hot right now. And if you get your finances together, it's going to be red hot. And then when you're bringing in all those clients through your events, through your speaking, by powering up your business, well, this is your time. This is your year. And we come back, Karen's going to break it down for us. I can't wait to find out what the biggest challenge folks have getting butts in the seat. She's like the queen of butts in the seat, if y'all know about that. I know you already Googled. I know you looked it up. I can't wait. We'll be back in just a moment. We're going all the way down to Raleigh, North Carolina, to Dr. Kearn Thigpen. And she's going to share a very special message. We'll be back in less than 2 minutes. See you soon.
Hello, it's your girl, Dr. Kearn Thigpen, also known as Dr. K, founder of Rise Women's Network. And Rise Women's Network is pleased to present to you, #Next Sister Up. I'm with you in the Happy Entrepreneurs Tribe, and today is my January 1st. Here's your thought of the week. No pressure, no diamonds. You see, people often view pressure as something that's negative, when in reality, pressure will help us grow, help us evolve, and also help us to develop new skills. Think about an actual diamond. You see, diamonds are made when they are under an unbelievable amount of pressure over an unbelievable amount of time. Without pressure, there would be no diamonds. Without pressure, there would be no you showing up at the highest version of yourself. You see, when things get tough, when things get hard, when you get stressed out, remember, a healthy amount of pressure is absolutely normal. If you never experience pressure, you will never know what your fullest potential is. So keep in mind that one, it's important to understand what your mindset is because your perception is your reality. So whether you think pressure is something positive or negative, that will become your reality. And the second thing is have courage. Courage to face the unknown. Courage to show up in the face of the pressure and be willing to take that massive action. So understand this. No pressure, no diamonds. It's your girl, Dr. K. Make it a great day.
Well, it's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur, and welcome back to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue-focused late-night show in the country where we're on a mission. That mission is to empower. That mission is to inspire. And that mission is to provide you, the entrepreneur, with all the resources necessary to execute that big vision. You know, you got this big vision out there for the people you were called to serve, and it takes resources. And now we're talking to the one and only, the woman herself, the woman that has founded not only Power Up, but so many other organizations, a Success Women's Conference, and she runs her own business, Kearn Cherry. What's up, Kearn? How you feeling over there?
Feeling great here in Biloxi, Mississippi.
She loves to shout out her hometown, Biloxi, Mississippi. She's not going to let us forget that. She's not going to let us forget that. Quick question for you as you're there. You know, I know you talked about Power Up. And you power up your conferences. You can power up your speaking. You can power up your coaching. When you use those words and you came up with that brand Power Up, what was going through your mind? What does it represent for those folks that are listening and watching right now?
So for me, Shay, I found that many people are just, they're a speaker, they're a coach, they plan events, but they're typically doing all of them separately. So there are many people who are just a coach, they're just a speaker, they're just an event planner, and they're functioning on one stream of income, right? So most of them are probably, as people say, one step from being out of business or not being able to do what they really have a passion to do. So after spending a lot of time doing the Success Women's Conference and all the other conferences I've done, I realized that people need to create multiple streams of income. I actually have done that for many years in my business. And if I hadn't done that in my business, I wouldn't be in business. And so I tell people it's time to start looking at your speaking career differently. You don't just need to be speaking. If you're not coaching, you should be coaching. Yeah, and if you don't have a coach to help you create your coaching program, then get one. You don't have to create it yourself. There are plenty of people that are very good at that, and they can help you come up with a coaching program that puts money in your pocket. And then if you're not doing a live event, and if you're a speaker, shame on you, because that is definitely a stream of income. It's all about doing something other than just what you're used to. Most people function, they do things that they're comfortable with. And you have to stretch yourself to do a little bit more than what you've been doing. And for speakers, I often say a lot of them are trying to get booked and they're out there trying to get themselves on different platforms. I want to give speakers a few tips from a person who plans conferences, and particularly a big conference.
So you're gonna give speakers, if I heard you correctly, you're gonna give speakers a couple of tips. Is that what I heard right now?
Yes, so, I want to give them a few tips.
Okay, so for everyone who's watching right now, get your paper, get your pen, because Kearn has just volunteered this, by the way. I didn't know she was going to do this, but she has volunteered, Dr. White. She says, look, I got some tips. I got some ideas. So we're going to step back, and she's going to give you not one, not two, but 3 quick tips that you can use as a speaker. So if you only had one, Kearn, you better ratchet up. You better power up and get a second one, okay? And if you only had 2, you better power up and have a third one. So what's number 1? Give it to us as quickly as you can. What's number 1?
Number 1 tip for getting booked as a speaker. You need to have video, okay? So look, I'm a speaker as well, and I've had to work on adapting and get my things, get my website updated and all that stuff. But this is important, and I tell you why, because a lot of times when we're going through and reviewing speakers, I'm not going to book somebody I've never heard before. So I need to hear you. So get some video. And if you don't have a video or you on stage, get some video where I can hear you talking and presenting.
But they're asking, Karen, real quickly, they're asking, does this have to be one of those 30-minute or 45? You want me to give you all my free stuff? Like, and just in about 30 seconds, what's the recommendation timeline for someone like yourself that you're going to actually listen to it and at least be able to pick up the gist of what they're talking about?
2 to 5 minutes. I probably only listen to 2 if I get a chance to look at it. But I definitely would like to see some video or hear your voice. And then number 2, look, for those of y'all that send in those headshots that you take on your phone, don't send them. We need your professional headshot. Invest in it. It doesn't cost much and it's very helpful and it says a lot. It is good to get a speaker one sheet. If you don't have one, it's really not that expensive. So I suggest that you get one. I also suggest that you eventually invest in a website for your speaking website. This is something that you really need. And don't consider your speaker reel, your speaker video. Those are 2 different things. And then also, if you have a chance, boost up your social media. I'll tell you, I actually look at that now because I want to know who's going to help me put butts in the seats. That's a tip, by the way. That's one way to put butts in the seats at your conference.
And when you look at the social media, what specific are you looking for? And as you folks are listening and watching, she's coming from 2 views of the world. One view of the world is someone that's bringing on a speaker, which is important. And then the other view of the world is someone that's helping people get onto stages. So what are you looking for when you're watching social media? Do I have to have, 10 different Facebook Lives for you to look at? So what are you really looking for? Come on.
I'm looking at, can you put butts in the seats? So if you only have a few followers, you're probably not on my top of the list. I really don't care how well you talk. If you don't have a following, you're not going to help me. I'm helping you. So I'm telling you, it is essential for speakers to start developing relationships with other people. And so social media is important in this world because most of the time I don't get to meet a speaker until they land here in Biloxi. So therefore, I am looking to see if they have a following, if they have somebody, people that they can help promote the event as well. And I tell you, I do look on people's page to see if they actually promote other people's stuff. Many people look for you to promote their stuff and they're not going to ever share yours. That's probably not a team player. And so those are speakers that I'm really not looking for. So think about that, because I can tell you, conferences have many people that apply. We had over 500 people apply at Success last year. 500 people. Just think about that. So
and
how do you come to the front?
And what's the biggest challenge that you see that folks are getting bringing in sponsorship dollars? I mean, I know that's something that you focus on as well. And when she talks about power up speaking, it's not just about you speaking. One thing that I admire about Karen, she looks at the business of speaking. And for those that are putting on events and those that speak at events, this is very, very important because sponsorships in many cases can cover the cost of the entire event and have additional profit. So I'm going to ask her a question she wasn't aware of, but she's so giving. She likes to give. She came to give her best stuff. Don't worry about it. And so the question is, in all seriousness, the question is, what do people need to do in order to get sponsorship dollars? What's your suggestions?
Well, first of all, you need to make a list. So honestly, most people think I don't know anybody, so I can't ask. That is definitely not the approach. Number one, get pitch together. So at the Power Up Summit, we're bringing in Precious Williams. I'm going to say that out loud, but we're bringing her in because most people don't have a pitch. When I get on the phone, I talk to strangers all the time. I don't need to see them in person. I just need to be able to tell them about what we're bringing to their community. So for here in Biloxi, I'm always talking to my corporate sponsors and showing them how we're impacting the community. Number one, we're bringing in 1,000 people. So we're already on the bonus side. But you're probably saying, well, you've been doing it for 6 years. Well, actually, the first year we had over 525 people. So you can imagine, and we still had a lot of sponsorships. So you can create different levels of sponsorships so that it's an easy sell for you. So I find that a lot of people that have trouble with asking, it's mostly nerves and fear. Get over it because you need the money. That's the whole point. So you can create different levels of sponsorship. I got a feedback. So that being said, you can start off, especially if you're doing a conference, you know, like I'm doing right now. You may not start off with a $10,000 level of sponsorship. You may start with lower level sponsorships like 500, 1,000, 2,500, etc. And then as you grow through the years, you increase those sponsorship levels as you get better at asking. But the first thing you need to do is create a list of people, not that people you know, but create a list of corporations. Like, say, for instance, I'm going to create a list with banks, and I'm going to list all those banks out. And then I'm going to touch some of my friends and ask them, do they have a contact there? Well, of course, I'm going to start with myself, and then I'm going to go from there. But if you don't ask, you will not receive. So most of the time you're going to the marketing person or the public relation person or the communication person. They're actually looking for ways to get their brand out to the public, but they don't know you exist until you ask. So getting sponsorship dollars is not a matter of you're not able to get it for whatever reason. It's most of the time it's because people have not even tried to ask.
Yeah.
So you must ask.
Now, when you heard Dr. White speaking earlier about making sure you have your budget together, and you talked about measuring it, what do you recommend to the person? And I've been that person, by the way, that I had the best intentions, right? The best intentions don't equal the best results. They even signed the contract in advance. I'm embarrassed to tell you guys this. And put the money down, and then I found myself in a big hole, right? Because I didn't budget. Guilty. I'm probably the only person to do it. And I thought my dream was really going to happen, and it didn't happen. What do you say a person that maybe started off big and they're coming down, I don't know, a stretch, and there's 6 months left and it's not going to be as big as they want? Are there ways that they can kind of tailor the event or scale it back? What are just some of your suggestions when you're working with clients in that situation?
You should always be adjusting your budget as you go through a conference. Don't be afraid to cut things.
Oh, I hate that. Oh, gosh.
Before I started,
not the DJ. Oh my gosh, I gotta cut so much stuff.
Yeah. Before I started with Success, I ran a conference called Right. There were 4 of us that worked on that conference the whole way through, and I typically raised the most money. And as I saw we could do certain things, I would add it to the schedule. So we started with the dream list, right? You want to start with a list of dreams that you want to do, correct?
Yes.
And then you estimate what it's going to cost. And then you project out how many different levels of sponsors you need and get a total budget of what that should look like, correct? Yeah. Now, then you create your list of your dream sponsors that you want to go after and ask for money. Well, maybe you started too late. Maybe people are just not don't have faith enough to buy into you that day. Now, I'm going to tell you, don't quit. That's not a reason to quit. That just means you need to adjust your plan. So you may need to take some of those things off the list. I've taken things off the list a month before the event saying, oh, we can't afford that. Oh, we can't afford that. We can't afford that. But I'm going to make this event happen, because there are many things that we put on our list that we don't need. It's just things we want. So you do the things you need. You cover those first. Have your priority. Number, okay, we got to pay for this. We got to pay for this. We got, like the building. You got to pay for the buildings. That's number one. You make sure that you pay for that building. You get the sponsorship dollars to do that. Mm-hmm. Look, and hey, sponsorships come in different forms. Now, I'm not saying you have to go to your friends and family, but if you need to, you can say, hey, so-and-so, I know you got that company over there. Can you come in as a sponsorship for $500? Well, yeah, sure I can. Well, it multiplies pretty quick. But that being said, most And I'm just using banks as an example. I'm down here in the casino world. A lot of them are always looking to put their name on something as well. But banks, casinos, insurance companies, you would be surprised how many categories that you can make a list of and just ask. You don't know who's looking. But if you never let anybody know you're looking, you won't get those dollars. It's a simple ask. You can, one of my partners, Tiffany and I, we sat in the phone last year a few times. And sometimes when I got on the phone, I was sitting there like, wow, I can't believe they said yeah, but they said yes. And I had to ask. So that's what I'm saying. You must ask. And I can tell you, I've been in front of a larger sponsor. And sometimes you're thinking, ask for the lower number, right? But it doesn't hurt to ask for more and let them settle for less. But if you never ask for the more, you'll never get to that. So you have to ask. So it's not a big pitch. Most of the time, you're sitting in front of, I've sat in front of women that make decisions like men, and then I've sat in front of men. Most of the time, they really don't want to hear your whole spiel. They don't want to hear all of your breakdown. They just want to know, what do you want? What's your number? Tell us what you need. And then they make the decision from there. But you got to ask.
Got to ask. I got it loud and clear, Dr. White. She said, you got to ask. If nothing else, you better ask. If you don't ask, you don't get. That's what I'm hearing. My question to you is, you have a conference called Power Up. Tell us what that is all about. Tell us number one, why did you decide to do it? And number two, who is it for?
Okay, so so I'll start out. It is for speakers, coaches, entrepreneurs, people that are in transitions in their careers. They're looking for something different. Maybe they want to start a side hustle and they need to do something different. Maybe they do have a side hustle and they just want to improve it and start to transition out of their career. But I started it because last year I was sitting and I was watching people like you, Shay, and people like Dr. Cozette that were there at Success. And I realized that our women are constantly looking. We have brought the breakout sessions. We have brought the mastermind sessions, and people are still hungry after we finish all of those sessions. And I find that they're still not getting enough individual attention. So, and I also saw there were things that speakers and coaches and entrepreneurs are missing. For example, my stylist, look, I'm saying I got a stylist. I just got one, by the way. Lauren Nicole. I actually, if y'all watched last year, somebody dressed me the whole time. And it was not my own idea. She approached me, and after she approached me and I went through that whole process of changing outfits, my thoughts were, why as a conference director did I not think of this on my own? And why would you ever operate without one? So I'm bringing in people like Lauren who can help you see what you should look like and the reason why you should have a stylist. I'm also bringing in people in like Precious that will teach you, that will help you create your pitch. Another really good one is Pam Perry's coming in, and she's actually going to talk about how to book yourself as a corporate speaker. Keywords, guys, corporate speaker. Sometimes we go around booking all these little speaking gigs, and most of the time we're doing it for free. Corporation pays. So you don't want to miss what Pam Perry has to deliver, because I'm telling you, that's where the money is. So people like that. Then, I'm a master collaborator and connector. So I got my good friend, Ashley Little, who's coming in talking about connecting and networking, and then branding yourself using social media. That is part of the way I put butts in the seats, because you have to be out there on social media, but you need to be effective with it, not just posting a flyer. But people also call me the tag queen, because I do tag people. I'm sure Dr. Cozette has gotten a few as well. The reality is, most people don't realize that the business pages on social media right now, particularly on Facebook, they're almost dead. So if you're just putting them on your business page, that's not enough to carry you through. You're going to have to create an event. You're going to have to tag people on the event. You know how many people create an event page and don't even invite people to the page? Oh my goodness. And then you got to create event pages for other things, like many of y'all saw I created event pages for speakers. You don't just stop there, because for me it's an event because I need those speakers. And then in addition to that, I create event pages for other things that I'm trying to get people in, like ambassadors, influencers, and all those other people, like vendors. So you have to learn to maximize social media to put those butts in the seats. But don't tell me you just posted a flyer, because that ain't gonna cut it.
And as you talk about that, I'm going to get Dr. White's thought on, collaborating with others, and how that helps bring everybody's resources together, so that they can purchase more and do more. So, Dr. White, in just a moment, I want to get your thoughts on the power of collaboration. Karen, as I said that, you talked about collaborating with other folks. What's one of the characteristics you look for in another person? So you told us what you look for, and making sure they can put butts in the seat and they have a following. But just as a entrepreneur, what's one of the characteristics that are important to you when you're looking to collaborate with someone else? And then I'll ask that same question to Dr. White in a moment. What characteristics do you look for in the entrepreneur?
So I am a multitasker by nature. So I'm always looking at a variety of people to connect with. Of course, I have my healthcare side, so I'm always looking for people to partner there. I try to collaborate a lot with nurses, so that I can, collaborating leads to referrals. As Dr. Cozette said, you need to check out people referrals. Well, you also need to ask for referrals. So if you're building a collaboration, look, I want to just say this. Sometimes you need to give first when you're building a relationship, because that's how you get to a collaboration. So keep that in mind. But Success Women's Conference started out a true collaboration. Dorothy Wilson and I came together. She was my brand coach, but we felt like we could come together and build something together. We both had an interest. So I look when I'm talking to people to see what their interests are. So for me, I'm big on that. And that's one of the things I'm doing this year, is collaborating with other people so that I can expand my brand broader than just the Gulf Coast, and broader than Mississippi, broader than this region. And that's actually how you build different streams of revenue and increase your income as well. But I look to see if people are speakers, coaches. I look for people in the healthcare field. I look for people that like to connect to other people. That's a biggie for me. People who are connectors. I think I connect better with people that are looking to build relationships as well.
Powerful. Dr. Cozette, same question. What do you look for when you're collaborating? What's one of the characteristics that you look for in the other entrepreneur?
I look for someone who's pretty much like-minded. I look for individuals who are truly connectors. And I think that with the social media world today, we can identify very easily who's a connector, who's someone who's going to share your post, someone who's going to refer you. I think it's key, Shay, collaborating and just really understanding who we can collaborate with, because everyone's not for us. Every person that we reach out to is not for us. But for me, I will gravitate to those that I know. I see them on social media. They're active on social media, and I see the activity, meaning they are sharing other individuals' posts. They are someone that I could hop in their box really quickly and ask them, hey, can you post this? Hey, I need your support. And some are just true givers by nature, and they'll say, sure, what do you need? Just let me know. So that's what I look for. But it's key, it's vital. And as Kearn said earlier, it's all about an ask. She was talking about an ask for donations, for support for sponsors. But it's the same thing. When you are looking to collaborate, you want someone that's genuine at heart, someone that's going to support you, and just be there, be in your corner. I reached out to Kearn many of times, just because.
Collaborate.
Hey, can you?
Why not? I love to share people. And I know people get frustrated with other people's stuff, but I always tell people, Shay, you don't have to post people's stuff if you don't want to post it. But I don't understand the complaining about people tag me. I'm like, just delete it if you don't want to share. Yeah. But trust me, if you are sharing their stuff, it's going to be much easier when you need them to share your stuff. Mm-hmm. So you have to think about it from a giver perspective versus a taker mentality, because a lot of people don't realize that. I was reading a post and I laughed because they said givers need to have a limit on how much they give, because takers don't have a limit at all. And that's real. But at the same time, I think for us, people like Dr. Cozette and I, we love to connect and share with other people and collaborate with others. And therefore, because of that, we're willing to share. And it really helps your events, and it helps you develop that relationship to where you can reach out and ask and not worry about what the answer is going to be.
Powerful. We spent some time with the one and only Dr. White, the one and only Karen Cherry. When we come back, I'm going to ask them two things. One, if they'll have their closing comments. We're going to do something called rapid fire. And then I'm going to ask them to give their closing comments. They spent some time really diving really deep and sharing what's on their heart, and we appreciate that so far. We'll be back in just a moment. We're going to go over to the one and only Letitia Nicole Beatty, and she talks about taking control and how important is that for where we are right now. We'll be back in just a moment, actually in less than 2 minutes. We'll see you soon. Be right back.
Hey, it is your girl Letitia Nicole, CEO founder of Speak Life Enterprises, where we teach powerful words to entrepreneurs like yourself to shape your reality. Well, before I get started with my thought of the week today, I want to send a huge shout out to Shay Brown, the CEO founder of this amazing group of happy entrepreneurs. Hey, Shay, thank you so much for allowing me to speak life to your group. So the word and the thought of the week is taking control. Now, oftentimes we give a foothold to things that weigh us down, like guilt, shame, resentment, worry, and doubt and bitterness. Now, these things can come naturally. The problem is when we allow them in, they take up space that should be reserved for good things, like joy and peace and confidence and creativity. But the negative can't come in automatically and take over unless we allow it. So I have a challenge for you. You have control over negative thoughts and emotion, so grab hold and take control. You have to make a choice and say, I am not going to give space to negativity and let it poison my life. I won't let an offense make me sour and bitter. I want you to take inventory of what you're giving place to, because life is way too short to go through it with negative things holding you back. So take control of what you allow inventory in your life. All right? My name is Letitia Nicole, and until next time, take control. See you later.
Well, it's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur, and welcome back to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue-focused late-night show in the country, where we're on a mission to empower, to inspire, and to provide you, the entrepreneur, with the resources necessary to execute the vision you have for the people you were called to serve. And before we go into final thoughts, I was reminded that we need to do our rapid fire segment. And I love my rapid fire segment because I get a chance to ask any question. They have a minute or less to answer. I did say a minute or less to answer. And for those folks that are listening out there, a minute or less, if I was asked the question, what do you want? A minute or less? The audience always yells, less, Shay, less. That's just a hint for our two wonderful guests this evening. And so I'll start first with Dr. White, and then I'll come to Karen with another question. But my question, Dr. White, is when you think of all the mentors you had along this journey of life, what's one lesson you've learned from any of your mentors along the way that you would like to share with us that can help us on this journey?
One of the lessons that I've had an opportunity to learn, and I think it's important for everyone, is time management. And I learned that early in my career, based on what I do and how I help individuals. I'm not going to say that I was one that was tardy all the time, but based on the nature of the work that I do, everything is driven by a date. Everything is driven by a date. So I learned to make sure that I was on time to work, on time with meeting deadlines, and it has helped me along the way. It has helped me get to the point to where I'm at today. And you know me very well,
Yeah.
Shay, that I'm very strategic. I'm very I follow a guide. I follow a time management sheet every day. I'm pretty much, you can figure me out. Let's put it like that. But that's one thing that I learned early on in life, and it has gotten me this far.
Good. Thanks a lot for sharing. Karen, when you think of all the people that you've met along this journey, the question would be, who do you admire in business, either past or present? And what's one of the characteristics you admire about them? So someone you admire that are in business, and you're taking one of the principles from that person, whether you met them live or you've watched them online, or maybe you've been mentored them by afar. But who do you admire, and what have you learned from them?
Wow. Okay, that's deep. I can't say I'm gonna name a person that I admire in business. I can't answer that, Shay. I'm trying to think.
We'll make it a little broader. Maybe a person that you admire in general. And what's something that you've learned from that person that you would like to share with us?
Well, I tell you, I admire business owners that have figured out how to shrink their circle and shrink their involvement. I think for women, we like to do a lot of things, and I do say I am a multitasker by trade. But one of the things that I'm learning is that we need to learn to say no. That's a word that I think women have a problem with doing, and we tend to find ourselves volunteering and doing a lot of extra stuff that doesn't lead to anything. I guess really truly my husband kind of keeps me balanced. So in a way, I kind of admire the fact that he knows how to say no. I'm not going to do that. And so that being said, I think that's a characteristic that I'm trying to get better at, eliminating some of the extra things that are only taken away from my potential to earn extra income.
Got it. So, perfectly. Well said. Thank you. Well said. Cozette, how do you expand your comfort zone? How do you get out of your comfort zone and be uncomfortable?
Oh, I think it's just about just doing it, Shay. There are so many times that I'm stepping out of my comfort zone, even in the speaking arena. When I first started speaking, I was very timid, very afraid, but it was just a matter of just stepping out there and just doing it. Even when we're on a sales call, just doing it and stepping out there fearfully and knowing that we may fall, but we're going to get up and start all over again. Sometimes I'm on these sales calls and someone may ask me something that I don't know. It's a matter of saying, let me research that and I'll get back to you. But just do it.
Just do it. I like that. Karen, here's a question. How do you believe in yourself when no one else does?
Because first of all, I know God has given me many gifts as he's given other people. And so I have the belief that you need to, that we create our opportunities. A lot of times we sit and we wait for other people, and it is up to us to create those opportunities and to walk in faith, not talk in faith. We all do that. And I have to agree with Dr. Cozette. Fear is real. but it doesn't have to consume you. And I can honestly say I'm just as guilty as a lot of people sometimes, being guilty of just sitting and waiting. So one of the things I started last year, right after success, I'm like, I'm going to create some things that's going to push me to the edge. That's why I started my book. And many people know I'm not a journalist, okay? But I've been pushed to do it. And the same thing with the conference. It's pushing me out of my comfort zone because I'm doing this, heading it up myself, and just stepping out on faith, walking in it.
Step on faith. I love it. When we come back, we're going to have Karen Cherry first. She'll be sharing her final thoughts to inspire, to empower you as entrepreneurs. And then we'll have Dr. White close us out with her final thoughts. We'll be back in less than 2 minutes. We're going to go all the way over to, I believe we're going up to New York, New York. I always like to say, so nice. They named it twice with Delano A. Johnson. And Delano A. Johnson says, I refuse to live talented and broke. How powerful is that? We'll be back in less than 2 minutes.
I live in a city where there are more creative people per square mile than any other place on the planet. Question is, how many of them are successful? How many are just like I was, talented and broke? Being broke is more than just not having money. It's failure to turn opportunities into profitable businesses and relationships that last. My mother always said, people perish for lack of knowledge. A compass takes you in the direction of your destiny, but knowledge of obstacles and distractions will ensure you arrive safely. My mentor once said to me, if I had half your talent, I'd have 4 times my wealth. Since then, I made a promise to God. If he would help me unlock my earning potential, I would pay it forward and help others do the same. That's why I wrote this book. Because God made us too talented to live our lives broke. That includes you.
Well, it's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur, and welcome back to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue focused late night show in the country where we're on a mission. And that mission is to empower, the mission is to inspire, and the mission is to provide you with all the resources that you really need to execute that big vision you have for the people you were called to serve. And this morning, this evening, this afternoon, tonight, wherever you are in the country, wherever you are in the world, this is your time. Right now is your time. And now we're going to go over to Karen Cherry. And Karen Cherry, before you give your final thoughts, we want you to make sure first, before you do that, you tell folks how they can connect with you. That's very important. So how can they connect with you? They're watching and say, oh my gosh, she has all the answers here. So they want to know, how can they connect with you? So first, before I turn it over to you, how can they connect with you? What's the best way?
Okay, naturally, my email, Kearn, that's like learn, Kearn, at P as in Paul, R as in Ralph, N as in Nancy, homecareservices.com. You can also go to my website, KearnCherry.com, or Power Summit, PowerUpSummit.com, and all of those will come to me. And I'm on all my favorite sites: LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can find me on any one of those sites as well.
Yeah, I don't think you sleep half the time. But in all seriousness, y'all don't know. In all seriousness, I want to say thank you so much. First, we appreciate you being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. I appreciate you giving so much of your time, and you gave a lot of your insider secrets. I thought you might answer a few questions, but boy, you gave them not only a lesson, but point by point exactly what they need to do to avoid going into the ditch, and if they're in the ditch, how to get out. So let me say thank you on behalf of the Happy Entrepreneur Show. Can't wait to have you back. Looking forward to hanging out with you at the Power Up Conference. Yes. You are indeed a rock star. So I turn over you to give your final thoughts to folks that are listening right now. They got to go out there, and they've now got to execute the plan, right? They got to go make it happen.
And Shay put a little plug in there, but he's speaking at the Power Up Summit, by the way. But anyway, that being said, I always say three things when talking to entrepreneurs of any sort, career people, whoever. Number one thing you need to do is treat networking just like real estate. As you hear it, you say, what's important in business? Network. Then the other thing I tell people is you have to, if one door is closed, go to the next door, go around back. If it ain't open, if you can't get in that way, kick the door down or create your own. But success must be taken. That is a definite.
Like success must be taken. Thanks a lot. I'm looking forward to it. And Dr. White, thank you so much for showing up. Thank you for tackling, I call it a very difficult subject, but it's something that you love to do as a financial physician, by the way. You love to do that so well. And thanks for sharing with us what we need to do to protect our finances. But more importantly, what I really took away was how we really need to be organized. We need to really have a structure. We need to have a system in place. We need to have the right expertise. And you are that person. So as you give your final comments, first tell them how they can connect with you one more time so they know how to do that. And then I want to turn over to you to give your final thoughts to the listeners that are watching right now. And again, we appreciate you. Can't wait to have you back. You have a heart to give. You have a heart to serve. I've watched you for so many years. Do what you do, and you have been very, very consistent. So I certainly admire you. Thanks for spending time with us. We know you can never make more money, but you can always make more time. And both of you have given us your most precious resource, and that is your time.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me, Shay. You know, we go back, yes, some years. And for those of you who may or may not know this, Shay was probably Shay and his business partner was one of the first coaches and mentors to really help me change the trajectory of my business. I don't know how long it's been right now, but they're great individuals to work with, coaches and mentors. So to connect with me, you all, you can follow me on all social media outlets at Cozette M. White, or you can definitely follow the business, My Financial Home, and both myself as well as the business. We're on all social media outlets. If you need to reach me, my best advice is send an email to info@myfinancialhome.com. Again, that's info@myfinancialhome.com. And of course, the website is myfinancialhome.com as well. And as Kearn said, I do have my website, and you can find out a lot more about me and my personal brand at CozetteMWhite.com. But Shay, three things that I want to leave the listeners, whoever, if you're watching today, tomorrow, wherever country you're at, get your mind straight as it relates to your finances. I can't tell you how jacked up in the brain I was some years back when my finances were messed up and I was going through issues. Sometimes when we're going through those issues, we clam up. We don't want to talk about it because no one wants to talk about their finances when they're not right. So get your mind straight. And what does that really look like? That means changing the way we feel about money, the way we talk about money, the way we handle money, and just our attitude towards the dollar bill. Handle it with care. Start saving, start putting money away. Even if you don't have sufficient amount, what you call a sufficient amount, every little penny, every little dollar, $10, $20, $100, $1,000, whatever that looks like, it all adds up. I can't speak for anybody else, but I know when I see my savings account growing and I'm putting money in there on a regular basis, I'm all smiles because it's just growing. But the next thing I want to say is your attitude. Change your attitude. And I'm not talking about just your personal finances, you all. I'm talking about the business aspect as well, because as we know, the habits that we developed with our personal finances, they just shifted right into our business finances. And as Kearn said earlier, some of us may be just hanging on a shoestring because we're taking on these speaking gigs, but we're not getting paid. She said it. You're spending 200 days out of the year traveling, but you're not bringing in a hot penny. But you're wondering why you're broke. Change your attitude. Know your worth. And when you understand what you're worth, then you'll begin to say no to all those speaking gigs that are not paying you. It's fine to look cute. It's fine to network, but you can find another way to network and still bring in money. Okay? Think about it, your attitude. And last but not least, protect your financial health. What does that look like? On a personal level, I'm talking about your wills, your living trust. I'm talking about putting things in place right now so that when that moment comes, your family's not scrambling, your loved ones aren't scrambling. Things are all in alignment with where they need to be. So I could go on and on and on, but Shay has given me a limited amount of time to talk. But put those things in place, your mindset, your attitude, and protect your financial health. And last but not least, I said it earlier, I'm going to say it again. If you'd like to get in touch with me, all you need to do is send me a quick email at info@myfinancialhome.com or connect with me. Follow me on all social media outlets. I network out there, I play out there, but I do business. That's what's the main thing. I do business out there on social media, okay? And I have fun. So thank you, Shay, again. And thanks, Kearn, for joining us.
All right. Y'all both are rock stars. Thank you, the audience. Thank you, all the viewers. Make sure you come back. Watch us on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. I want you to know that today is your January 1st. You are going to get your finances in order. Today is your January 1st. You're going to power up your business. Today is your January 1st because you're now back on track again. And for you, the best is still yet to come. The best is yet to come. Why? Because today is your January 1st. With that being said, my name, by the way, is Shay Brown. For those who are wondering for the first time, my name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. And I promise you from the bottom of my heart, we'll make some good things out. We connect again next time. God bless. We wish you all success. Karen and Dr. White, thank you. You guys are amazing. Y'all are incredible. Looking forward to connect with you soon. Bye-bye. Bye. Peace, as they say. Promise I made to my mom. I only did this message for one person, and that's my mom. This is for you, Mom. Love you. My name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Shay Brown.
Mic check, mic check.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
Yes. Yeah.
And they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win.
Yeah.
Thank you. God bless.